Hey, hi, hello, how's it going, folks? It's your old buddy Nate, back with another episode of Nate's Greats, and today we're going to talk about the Bob Dylan biopic, A Complete Unknown, starring Timothy Chalamet. Um, to me, it is an excellent movie. It does the greatest thing it can do for the source material for Bob Dylan's story in that it gives you the idea of who Bob Dylan is as a person, and it gives you insight into how his mind works as a musician, as a performer, and it shows the growth of an artist, which I think is an interesting angle for a musical biopic to take. Um, it's amazing. We have Edward Norton playing Pete Seeger, folk musician. He's taking care of Woody Guthrie. um, they even bring up Joan Baez, played by Monica Barbaro, who's amazing in this movie. Really captures that interesting relationship Joan Baez and Bob Dylan had, and it's just incredible. The real Stowe shopper for me is Boyd Holbrook playing Johnny Cash. It's great. It's great. There's a lot of memorable bits to the movie. It shows the creation of the song "Like a Rolling Stone" and how that came to be. Talks about Bob Dylan's acoustic early career and his songwriting, and there's little details to the movie that I like. The musical soundtrack is great. You get Woody Guthrie's music, you get Bob Dylan's music, and it just you really understand the growth and change of the times. There's scenes that depict the Cuban Missile Crisis, scenes that depict the Civil Rights Movement, and here's this young man at the center of all of this, it being exposed to all of these important keystone moments in the history of the United States. And he's taking it all in and giving us his opinions and his views on culture right back out. I mean, the performance in that movie of the times they are changing gave me chills. I had goosebumps during that whole segment. It was amazing. The recreations of the Newport Jazz Festival was amazing. The recreations of all the buildings like Cafe Wa and all that in New York and Greenwich Village, it's amazing. And yeah, I think that the movie does a good job of is you understand Dylan's process, you understand his conflicts. He wants to go electric. You see him going through all of that and going down that route, and you see him changing his acoustic sounds, getting more political, less folk like. But you end up walking away with just as much questions as you do answers. You want to know more about Bob Dylan. And what I walked away from the movie, I wanted more. I wanted to know what happened after the motorcycle accident. I wanted to see a recreation of his Jesus years. I wanted to see a recreation of his music from the 70s, like even albums like Blood on the Tracks and Blonde on Blonde, which is later on in that 60s and 70s era. I mean, are great. Desire's great. I mean, it's not like I think music critics as a whole, get this misinterpretation that Dylan peaked in the 60s and then everything after is kind of a nosedive. But to me, his music just kept changing and evolving like any good artist, like Miles Davis or in any true musical genius. The music just keeps evolving and changing. The more recent Dylan stuff has a very blues and jazz flavor to it, which suits his very raspy and worn vocals, which I actually like quite a bit. I like old man Bob Dylan's voice. I like that it has a quality to it that suits the music. But the thing that made this movie really cool also was it wasn't just using like songs from the artist. Like I like the fact that it was actually Timothy Chalamet singing the Bob Dylan material, and same with Boyd Holbrook doing the Johnny Cash, and Monica Barbaro doing the Joan Baez and all that. I think it's great. Um, and it shows a lot of conflicts, like the fiery relationship between Joan Baez and Bob Dylan. That whole interesting relationship there, and you know it showed that even the older guys were fans of the younger guys. Like, it was cool to see. I did my own research and reading, and Johnny Cash was a pure fan of Dylan. He would write him letters. They would write each other letters back and forth, and that's true. And I thought that that was just something nice they put in the movie. But I thought that that was so cool that a dude already as famous as Johnny Cash, who was well established at that point, really, really popular in the 60s, was a fan of a young man who just started off with just an acoustic guitar. And the fact that he did his first performance at 19 years old, that's right, Bob Dylan, first performance at 19 years old is nothing short of incredible. That shows that anybody can do something if they put their mind to it. But yeah, this movie is great. Lots of memorable bits. There's recreations of them playing in the studio, even that are fun. You know, they even got a guy to play Mike Bloomfield. Who the fuck does that? That's really cool. Um, it's just little details like that that make a nerd music fanboy like me excited and giddy as all hell. But I will leave you all with two things. You don't need a weatherman to know which way the wind blows. And it's time for y'all to track some mud on the floor. Take it easy, y'all. Peace. And go see the movie.